Today, we bring you a story that has captivated the nation. A story of heartbreak, loss, and the pursuit of justice. In a shocking case that rocked Bowie County, a jury has delivered its verdict, sentencing Taylor Parker to death for the brutal murder of Reagan Hancock and her unborn baby Braxton Sage. Taylor Parker, a mother's burden lifted. A deep sense of relief swept over Reagan Hancock's mother as she summoned the courage to share her thoughts after the jury delivered their verdict, sentencing Taylor Parker to death. The heavy burden that had weighed on their hearts for so long finally began to lift, bringing a glimmer of hope for healing amidst their overwhelming grief. The verdict brought a much-needed sense of closure to the family. Finally, they have the reassurance they longed for, knowing where Reagan will rest and finding solace in the fact that justice has been served. It is a small comfort amidst the unimaginable pain they continued to endure. Reagan's mother, who endured the anguish of waiting and the constant uncertainty that clouded their lives, expressed her gratitude for the verdict. While the void left by Reagan's absence can never be filled, knowing that the responsible person has been held accountable offers a glimmer of hope as they embark on the long and challenging journey towards healing. As the weight of uncertainty lifted, the lingering questions of why and how began to fade away with the jury's decision. No longer burdened by the fear of an unknown future, Reagan's family can slowly start rebuilding their lives, leaning on each other for support and seeking solace in cherished memories. The verdict marks a significant milestone on the path to justice, granting Reagan's family the opportunity to find closure and move forward, even though they will forever be changed by their loss. While their wounds may never fully heal, the release from uncertainty allows them to focus on remembering and honoring the life of their beloved Reagan. The trial unfolds. The Bowie County Courthouse became the center stage for a highly anticipated 2-month trial that captured the attention of the entire nation. Inside the courtroom, emotions ran high as Reagan's grieving family bore witness to the crucial moment of the verdict being read. Overwhelmed by grief, they clung to each other for support, hoping for justice to prevail. The trial was marked by an overwhelming amount of evidence and an extensive list of witnesses. The prosecution meticulously built a compelling case against Taylor Parker, leaving no room for doubt. With over 140 witnesses taking the stand and mountains of evidence presented, the courtroom was filled with a sense of solemn gravity. The trial proceedings were an emotionally charged affair, as each piece of evidence and witness testimony added another layer of weight to the case. The prosecution painted a vivid picture of the events surrounding Reagan's tragic murder, leaving an indelible impression on the jurors and those in attendance. The compelling case presented by the prosecution was aimed at leaving no doubt as to Taylor Parker's guilt. The weight of the evidence and the numerous witnesses lent credibility to the charges brought against her. The courtroom became a space where the tragic events unfolded, where the consequences of actions were scrutinized, and where justice saw its rightful place. A quick verdict. The jury wasted no time in reaching their decision, delivering a swift verdict in the case of Taylor Parker. After just 90 minutes of deliberation, they made their determination clear. Taylor Parker would be sentenced to death. This expeditious verdict showcased the gravity of the evidence presented by the Department of Public Safety and the unwavering commitment of the jurors to secure justice for Reagan Hancock and her unborn child. The efficiency in which the jury reached their decision spoke volumes about the weight of the evidence that was presented during the trial. The Department of Public Safety had meticulously built a case against Parker, leaving little room for doubt. The strength of their arguments and the compelling nature of the evidence resonated with the jurors, leading to a resolute and unanimous decision. In a case that deeply affected the community, the jurors recognized the importance of their role in seeking justice. Their determination to diligently consider the evidence and deliver a swift verdict showcased their commitment to serving as impartial arbiters of the law. Their decision brought a sense of closure to Reagan Hancock's family and the community at large. Closure and consequences. Reagan's mother, sister, and husband summoned immense courage to deliver powerful witness statements sharing the impact of their devastating loss. Taylor Parker, overcome by the weight of her actions, wept on the stand. In a swift response, the judge ordered Parker's immediate removal from the courtroom and her transfer to death row. Reagan's family seized the opportunity to address the court, speaking from the depths of their pain and loss. Their words carried immense power, reflecting their enduring love for Reagan and their unwavering commitment to seeking justice on her behalf. It was a poignant moment where the impact of the crime and the profound grief experienced by the family were laid bare for all to witness. In stark contrast, Taylor Parker, the convicted killer, experienced a moment of reckoning on the stand. Overwhelmed by the gravity of her actions, she wept, perhaps realizing the consequences of the choices she had made. The weight of her own guilt and the impact of her crime finally seemed to penetrate her conscience. Without hesitation, the judge swiftly ordered Parker's removal from the courtroom, marking the beginning of her journey to death row. This decisive action demonstrated the gravity of her crimes and the necessity of enforcing the verdict. It was a moment that punctuated the courtroom proceedings, underscoring the irreversible consequences of her actions. A chapter closes, a new chapter begins. As we witness the culmination of this tragic saga, a chapter comes to a close and a new chapter begins. Taylor Parker's fate now rests in the hands of the justice system. Being the 7th woman on death row in Texas, she now faces the stark consequences of her actions. The story now unfolds as Parker is transported to the state prison in Gatesville. With the trial concluded and the verdict delivered, the legal process moves forward, taking its course. The closing of one chapter symbolizes the end of the courtroom drama, while simultaneously signifying the beginning of the next phase in the pursuit of justice. It's a solemn reminder that actions have consequences and accountability must be upheld. As Taylor Parker embarks on her journey to the state prison in Gatesville, she will be entering an environment that is drastically different from the world she once knew. The prison walls will now confine her, serving as a reminder of the gravity of her crimes. It is a place where she will face the consequences of her actions as she reflects on the impact they have had on the lives of others. While the closing of this chapter offers some semblance of closure, it also signals the beginning of a new phase in the pursuit of justice. It is a reminder that justice is an ongoing process, one that extends beyond the confines of the courtroom. The journey towards healing and closure for the victims' families continues as they navigate the complex emotions that accompany such profound loss. Thank you for joining us today. Remember to stay tuned for more updates on this ongoing case. Until next time, take care.